Welcome in the world of artificial intelligence under artificial intelligence using Python series of lectures. This is lecture on heuristic search methods part 3. Hi, I am Dr. Sunil from GCS Solutions. The contents of this lecture are solution space search and the SAT problem, variable neighborhood descent, that is VND, and application and analysis of VND. Now let us see the solution space search, and under this we see SAT problem. Now, Boolean satisfiability problem, which is also called as a SAT problem, is a problem of defining a Boolean formula, and that formula is evaluated to true or not. Basically, it is tested that a given SAT formula is evaluated to true or not. In other words, it is to see if a Boolean formula is satisfiable or not. Now let us see what this SAT formula is, how that SAT formula is basically represented, and for that let us first understand the basic terminology to define Boolean formula in propositional logic. So let us understand some concepts. In propositional formula there is something called literal. What is literal? Literal, it is an atomic formula or its negation. For example, if A is the variable which is used as a literal, then A or negation of A is a literal. That means you can use a formula that is variable A as a literal and its negation as a literal. You may have so many variables, like you may have variable B, C. So if you have three variables like A, B, C, then A, B and C and the negation of A, negation of B and negation of C, these all are literals. So there will be 6 literals if you have three variables. In case of one variable, there are two literals. Then what is clause? Clause is nothing but disjunction of two or more literals. For example, if we have A or negation of A and B or negation of B, so out of these four literals, you can have A or negation of B as a clause. There can be some other clauses, like you can create a clause by combining A or B, or you can even combine negation of A or B, or you can even combine negation of A or negation of B. So this way clause is basically created out of literals. What is disjunction? It is addition or sum or operation of two or more literals. For example, we have literals A, B, C, or simply A, B, negation of A and negation of B. Then one can have a disjunction of literals. For example, A or B or negation of A. What is conjunction? It is multiplication or product or and operation of two or more literals. For example, if you have literals like A, B, negation of A, negation of B, then one can generate the conjunction using these literals, that is A and B and negation of A. So combination of literals with and operation is conjunction, and combination of literals with or operator or operation is disjunction. Now what is CNF? It is conjunctive normal form, also called as product of sum or POS, and is expressed as a product of sum. So here is the product, that means and the literals are basically summed using or. So A or B and B or negation of A, this representation is sum of the, that is product of the sum, excuse me, it is product of the sum. It is product, that is multiplication of the sum. Sum means addition. So what is SAT now? So we'll see what SAT exactly is. SAT is in CNF, and one has to check for what values of literals in the POS formula it is evaluated to true. To understand this, let us see how SAT is represented. So 2SAT is defined with two literals. Why this SAT is called 2SATs? Because it has a clauses, it has a clause or number of clauses which are using only two literals. Two literals means only two variables combined with or. For example, here a SAT is defined wherein A or B. So here A is one literal, B is the second literal, and it is combined with or. And B or negation of A. Here also we have two literals, B or negation of A. So this way there will be so many clauses, but in each of the clause there will be only two literals used, either a literal or its negation, and combination of various literals, but only two literals in a clause. So this way two sat is formed. What if we want to test for what value of a and b this formula is evaluated to true? Then we can have a method called brute force method. For example, if you have a and b as the literals, then we can have a, b, negation of a, negation of b. So if we have basically two variables, then there are 2 raised to power 2 4 possible values of those two variables. For example, we can have a as a true or a as a false. We can have b as a true and b as a false. And if we try to combine this, suppose I have a0, b0, then with a0 and b0 I will try to evaluate this formula. When a0, 0 means what? False, and 1 means what? True. So if I have a 0 and b also has 0, then this will be 0 or 0, which is nothing but 0, that is false, and 0 or minus negation of 0, that is 1. So 0 or 1 is 1. So this will be 0 and 1, and you know that 0 and 1 is 0. So this formula is evaluated to false. Now what if I try with all possible combinations? So I will have to try with different possibilities, like when a is 0, b is 1, then when a is 1, b is 0, then when a is 1 and b is also 1. So with all these possibilities I will try and check for what value of a and b this formula is true. If this formula is true, that is this given sat formula is true, then that sat is said to be satisfiable. That is Boolean satisfiability is achieved. Let us now see the other variations of sat. Here 3 sat has 3 literals in a clause. For example, if we have a sat which is represented here like this. So here first clause has 3 literals a or b or c, and second clause also has 3 literals, that is b or negation of a or c. Third clause also has 3 literals, negation of a or negation of b or c. This way we may have so many clauses, but each of the clause will be having only 3 literals. We may have even say 4 variables a, b, c, d, but here in a clause at a time only 3 literals can be used. That is 3 sat problem. Using brute force method with 3 variables, we'll be having 2 raised to power 3, that is 8 possible values to be checked with the formula. So for this formula of 3 sat with 3 different variables, so this ABC will be taking values like, for example, A will be 0, B will be 0, C will also be 0. So with this ABC, that is all the values of variable ABC are false. So with respect to this formula will be evaluated. It will be checked whether it is evaluated to true or not. And how much time it will take? So maybe it will take very less time. But what if there is a k-sat problem? K-sat means there will be k literals used, and there might be 100 variables for this k-sat, and that will take 2 raised to power 100, which is equal to 10 raised to power 30 possible values, and it will take 3 into 10 raised to power 15 centuries with a computer which inspects a million candidates per second. So this is just impossible. If we try to solve k-sat problem with 100 variables, and that too with brute force method, so it will take 3 into 10 raised to power 15 centuries, which is just impossible, near to impossible. Now here, to address this problem, we may go for something called solution space search mechanism. Now consider a sat with 5 variables a, b, c, d, e, and following formula of 6 clauses. We have been given a formula. For example, it is b or negation of c, and c or d or and b, and negation of a or negation of e, and e or negation of c, and negation of c or negation of d. Now with this SAT, we need to perform some trials. For example, if I try with the values like A is 0, B is 0, C is 0, D is 0 and E is 0. So with this initial say state, that is pattern, bit pattern 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, this formula is evaluated to false. Now similarly I may do variation, like I may keep A as 0, B as 1, C as 0, D as 1 and E as 0. So with this combination, if I now try to evaluate this formula, perhaps it may comes to be true. For example, that formula may get evaluated to true. For example, A is 0, B is 1. So here B is 1 and B or negation of C, C is 0. So 1 or 0 is 1. So this is true. And C is 0, D is 1. So this is also true. So true and true. So B is 1. So true and true. Up to this point, everything is true. And negation of A is 1 or 1 is also 1. So this is true. So true and true and true. So up to this point, everything is true. So E is 0. So 0 or negation of 0, 1. So 0 or 1 is 1. That is true. And this will also get evaluated to true. So with this particular bit combination, that is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, this formula is evaluated to true. But what if I want to find out all possible combinations of A, B, C, D and E? Then with brute force method, it will be quite time consuming. So we may have something called solution space search, in which we will be choosing a current candidate solution, and with respect to that current candidate solution, we will try different possibilities, but those possibilities will be limited with certain criteria, and that is called perturbation, that is change of the value. You can change a bit value or you can change k bits values. Do remember here, bit 1 which is assigned to a variable is assumed to be true, and bit 0 which is assigned to a variable is assumed to be false. So here if I say A equal to 0, that means A is true. If I say B is 1, that means if I say A is 0, that means A is false. And if I say B is 1, that means B is true. So with this we'll see the solution space search mechanism in the next slide. So let us see the solutions space search with respect to SAT. So we have a SAT with 5 variables and 6 clauses. So here is the formula, again same thing. The candidate solution is A is 0, B is 1, C is 0, D is 1, E is 0. And this candidate is identified as 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So that is this ABCD combination will be tested on this given SAT 6 clauses. So that is A is 0, B is 1, C is 0, D is 1, E is 0. Now here the perturbation is used. If 1 bit perturbation is used, then that is something like changing 1 bit at a time. So if this is the given configuration, so let us focus here where I am pointing. Now here A bit is 0, B bit is 1, C bit is 0, D bit is 1 and E bit is 0. Now if there is 1 bit perturbation, the solution space search method will try to change bit of one variable at a time. So first it changes bit A, so then this pattern, given pattern of A, B, C, D, E will be like 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. So bit A is changed. Now next time bit B will be changed, so it is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Now C will be changed, so it is 0, 0. So here bit C for the current candidate is 0, and for if one perturbation is used, then 1 bit perturbation is used, then this C which is 0 will be changed to 1. Similarly, this E which is 1 will be changed to 0, and D, and E will be changed to 1 from 0. So this way we have got now how many new candidates? 5 new candidates. Now with these 5 new candidates, one can try putting the values of this A1, B1, C0, D1, E0 and can again try to evaluate this. So this way what we can do, instead of brute force, wherein you have to try with all possible 2 raised to power some n variable combination, instead of that we have some candidate solution as a current candidate, and with certain perturbation, that is change in bit, we will generate new candidates and we will try to test our SAT with each of these candidate one after another. That means first we'll try with this new candidate, then second new, then third new, then fourth new, then fifth new. Suppose none of these candidate is giving a solution to the given SAT, then same candidate will be used, but next time the bit is 2, that is there will be 2 perturbation, 2 bit perturbation. So here 2 bit perturbation means one can change 2 bit at a time. For example, if A is false and B is true, then with 2 perturbation a new child will be generated and which will change 2 bit at a time. So it will change A and B, it will change A and C, it will change A and D, and it will change A and E. So it will be something like this. A and B is changed, so A was 0 and B was 1, so here it is 1 0 instead of 0 1. Now next time A and C will be changed, here A is 0, C is 0, so in next child remaining bits will be same, except A will be changed to 1 from 0 and C will be changed from 0 to 1, and A will be changed from 0 to 1, like this. So this way we have change in A and D and change in A and E. Similarly, there will be combination of change in BC, change in BD and change in BE. So here it is represented. Then we will be having change in CD, which is represented here, CD, change in CE, which is represented here, CE, then change in DE, and that is represented here. So with this 2 perturbation, what we got? We got 10 candidates. Now one can try with first and check whether the given SAT, this 6 clause with 5 variable SAT is satisfiable or not. Then one can try with this, one can try with this. So one can exhaust with all D child. What if this is not promising? Then one can go for the 3-bit perturbation. So this way, at a time there will be some limited number of child nodes generated. It will not be 2 raised to power 100 possible combination. It will be some combination with some limited bit perturbation, and that's why because of that some limited neighbors of the current candidates will be generated. And this way this algorithm, that is solution space algorithm, generates different neighborhood candidates from the given candidates using perturbation method. And if the neighborhood function is sparse, then there will be fewer candidates. For example, if there is 1 bit variation, then this is 1 bit means very less value. So that is only 1 bit change. That is 1 perturbation. So 1 perturbation generates how many candidates? 5. And 2 perturbation generates how many candidates? 10. And suppose there is 3 perturbation, it will be NC3 number of childs. And that means if there is a denser neighborhood function, then it will generate more candidates. Hope you understood this. Let us see the variable neighborhood descent algorithm, which is also called as VND. The idea of perturbation in solving K-SAT problem makes it possible to generate different neighborhood candidates from the given candidate. We have seen that one can start with the current candidate solution, that is a single candidate, and with certain perturbation new candidates are generated from the current one. And if none of the candidate is giving this solution, then same candidate can be chosen, and out of that same candidate with new perturbation some more candidates are generated and those candidates are tested. So this way the neighborhood function, when incorporated with hill climbing or in hill climbing, it gives rise to a newer approach called variable neighborhood descent. This newer algorithm first calls hill climbing with a sparse neighborhood function which generates lesser number of child candidates. And if we are not getting solution with that sparser neighborhood function, then gradually the perturbation value is increased and denser neighborhood function is called, and with that denser neighborhood function, more children will be generated, and out of those more children, the given problem is tested. So here is the overall algorithm. So it takes two arguments, start and the maximum perturbation allowed, that is n. So the current node is start, then perturbation will be gradually increased from 1 to n. Now here, first with one perturbation, a move-gen is called, to which the current candidate and the perturbation value is passed. So how move-gen works? So move-gen will take this current node. It will first see whether the current node is in the list of successor or not. If it is, then it generates the children of the current node with k perturbation. So if suppose some 5 children are generated, so those 5 children with respect to current node are returned to the variable neighborhood descent. That is, move-gen will return those n number of children to the variable neighborhood descent, and it will be stored in mg child list, that is move-gen child list. After this, a hill climbing will be called. Now hill climbing algorithm will take the current node and its perturbed children and will try to reach to the goal. Now how hill climbing works? So it takes the current node and the current set of perturbed child, that is move-gen child. So it will take current node, it will pick front node from the move-gen child, and that is the new node. Then it will remove that currently picked node from the move-gen. So move-gen will be having one less number of child candidates of the current node n. Now it will see whether the newly generated child has a better heuristic than the current one. If it is, then your current is new node. Then it will try picking the next child of the move-gen, and then it will remove. And here, if we see carefully, that now our n is new node. Okay, and new node, that is the earlier new node which we picked, and new node is the new node fetched from the mg child. So this way again it will iterate, and it will try with all the children generated out of the current, and at the end it will return the better heuristic child. And now again move-gen will be called with 2-bit perturbation. So with respect to current node, it will take 2-bit perturbation and will generate more number of childs, and with that more number of childs again hill climbing will be called. This way this variable neighborhood descent algorithm will keep calling hill climbing algorithm with certain n number of perturbation, and this may give solution in more better way. And this is not a brute force, rather it is a method which exploits the solution space search concept and tries to give you solution with certain limited number of children to be tested at a time. Hope you understood this. Let us now see the application and analysis of the variable neighborhood descent. So VND has various applications, like it has industrial applications, it is used in data mining, it is used in graph problems, solving graph problems, knapsack, or even packing problems. It is also used in scheduling and vehicle routing problems. It is used in solving problems in bioscience and chemistry. It is also used in solving the optimization problems. Now what is the analysis? Now VND guarantee the solution if proper neighborhood function is defined. Suppose you are having some neighborhood function, and which has a proper heuristic defined, and with respect to the proper heuristic and the neighborhood density, B and D may guarantee you the solution. That means it is complete. Optimality, it may give a low cost or optimal solution or near optimal solution as it tries with the different better neighborhood children as compared to the current candidate solution. Time complexity, it takes moderate computing time, because you know that each time we are getting some, say some 5 children, next time we may get 10 children, next time we may get 20 children, 30 children. So this child set is having some n value. It is not exponential, it is a linear value. Each time it is getting added, not exponentially added. So that's why time complexity is moderate. What of space complexity? It has a constant space complexity requirement, because in one perturbation it may generate 5 children, in 2 perturbation it may generate 10 children, in k perturbation it may generate 20 children. So space required is some linear in nature. Hope you understood this lecture. So dear learners, how was the lecture? Please subscribe to GCS Solutions. Like the video if you really like it, share among the friends and comment for the improvements. We are GCS Solutions, making technology easy to learn. Till next lecture, be intelligent.